Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is straight out of Boston, and today I'm back for episode number 47 of my Brooklyn Nets MyLeague series here on NBA 2K16. So after getting swept out of the NBA Finals, DeMarcus Cousins was named the Finals MVP. The Nets are moving on to the offseason now. Andre Iguodala retires after tearing his patella in the playoffs. His career was over at that point, done. After a lot of, I think it was at 15 seasons, I think, in the NBA, so a long career for him. Moving on to the staff signing period of the offseason, only the trainer and the CFO need to be hired. So you see I'm going to, try to go over this pretty quickly. I'm actually going to fire my assistant GM, Steve Nash. We've got 3 positions to fill. Taking a look at some of the offers here, we've got a trainer, actually 2 trainers who have accepted, as well as 2 CFOs. So making our decisions, we go with John Hamm and Evans there to be the CFO. And then we've still got to sign an assistant GM here. We've got 1 offer out at the moment, and would be accepted. Ryan Johnson, A- contracts, A- trading. I like to see that. So moving on to the draft combine now, taking a look at some of the players here, and one guy who I immediately had my eye on was Tony Shelton. Projected to go into that 6-7 range. I thought he could immediately come in and help our team up off the bench, especially offensively. He's already a 76 overall, and he's got some good offensive ratings, including some good shooting ratings. So I really like Shelton, potentially as a 6th man in year number 1, and then maybe long-term, the future shooting guard of the team. So if we could try and trade up and, pick up a guy like Shelton, that is something I would definitely like to do. So now taking a look, you can see here also good speed, acceleration, and vertical. That meant I think that he's going to have some good potential as well, maybe a high ceiling. So Chandler Parsons was a guy that I knew if he wanted to trade up in the draft, he was going to be a guy who would probably had to move. So I was looking at the trade finder for him. I saw 1 offer for Julius Randle. There's another one for a future first from the Pelicans. Actually, that's a current first. What am I saying? It's 2019. But ultimately, I'm going to go with this trade from the Detroit Pistons. The 29th pick, Adrian Payne and Chandler Parsons, for the number 7 pick in the first round, and Tyler Ennis. So the Pistons pick is number 7. That gets us up to number 7. That is right around where we want to be. Maybe even trade up 1 or 2 more spots. We did pick up Tyler Ennis in that, and I don't really have a use for him on the team, so we could potentially look to move him if we were to try and trade up some more. Devin Booker is another guy I had my eye on to add some shooting off of the bench, and this was a pretty obvious trade offer. Patty Mills and Doug Mann for Devin Booker and Brandon Bass. Just, on age alone, Booker is 8 years younger than Mills, and I think he's probably the better player too. So I eventually turned this into Patty Mills and CJ McCollum for Devin Booker and Evan Turner. I wanted to get Evan Turner because I wanted to replace Andre Iguodala's ball handling off the bench, but with Devin Booker, and then we're also going to trade up 1 more spot in the draft, like I said earlier, Tyler Ennis in the 7th pick for the number 6 pick from the Knicks. That way we should be able to get Tony Shelton at number 6. So we kind of end up replacing CJ McCollum and Patty Mills with Devin Booker and Tony Shelton. I'm not sure who we're going to use as our backup point guard quite yet. We'll figure that out later in the offseason. But now going through the draft, Nick Randall, who I thought was the best player in the draft, went number 1. Radu Pavin went number 2. But Randall, really nice young point guard. That'll be a good addition for the Dallas Mavs. Now we do end up getting to pick Tony Shelton at number 6. He did fall to us. So we got our man perfectly executed in the first round. Like I said, Parsons was a guy that played pretty well in the playoffs last year, but 1 year left on his contract. The chance to move him for a young guy like Tony Shelton, I think, is a pretty easy move, or a pretty easy call for us to make. So Shelton, only 21 years old, already a 76 overall. Really like where he could go potentially in the future, and really even just in this year, I think he's going to be a big contributor off the bench. Here was an interesting guy that got drafted in the 2nd round. Take a look at that: 97 speed and 91 vertical, 87 acceleration, but did not really do much else, although did have good potential. So here we go now, looking at the player options. You can see Kyrie Irving declined his player option. He opts out. He could become a free agent if he does reach July 1st without an extension. And then other than that, not really a strong free agent class. So taking a look at the qualifying offers none for us to make. My free agent, Eric Bledsoe, is expired. He did get hurt last year, but we definitely want to bring him back. He has been an all-star the last 4 seasons for us, definitely our best player these last few years. So we're going to bring him back, a 3-year contract with a 4th-year team option at $13 million a year, and he does accept that. So 3 years and $39 million, with the potential to make it up to $52 million in that 4th year if we do pick up the option. And then here's the free agent class, and one name immediately popped up, and it was Victor Oladipo. I knew Oladipo was going to be a target. We did have a little bit of cap space, enough to bring in, kind of an $11 to $12 million player like an Oladipo, and it was just a perfect fit. I never really wanted to get rid of Oladipo when we traded him to the Bucks for the pick that became Chris Miles, and the chance to bring him back in free agency was one that I could not pass up. So similar contract to Bledsoe's. It's actually going to end up being 4 years guaranteed, $48 million, $12 million a year. And Oladipo, you can see here, liking our offer so far. Not quite as much money as Milwaukee, but he seems to want to come back to Brooklyn, where he did have a lot of success in the half season that he played with us. He did help us out in that playoffs, and played pretty well, I thought, despite us losing in the first round that year. But anyway, Oladipo does sign on, so there you go. That is our one big move in free agency. That is going to be the team at the end of free agency. You can see our top, really, 7 or 8 now looking pretty good. Bledsoe, Lopez, Oladipo, Porzingis, Booker, Miles, Shelton, and Stokes. That's our top 8 right there. So really nice stuff. I think I'm going to bring Booker off of the bench along with Sheldon. Taking a look at the bottom half of our roster, no real backup point guard, so I think that's where Evan Turner is going to come and play, and I want to see him get some minutes at point guard. Also making some minor signings here. Anthony Brown, of course, who we had some success with in the past, and Buddy Hield as well. We have not had success with in the past, but obviously the name there, I wanted to bring him in. And so we're going to end up actually signing Hield over Brown. We couldn't afford both, but I wanted to go with Hield just because, he's kind of the big name these days, and he's probably going to go in the lottery, probably top 5, I would say, in the upcoming draft. So now taking a look at player progression, Lopez down 2 points to an 80, but Porzingis and Oladipo each get a bump. Chris Miles now up to a 79. I like to see that. Although we're gonna take a little bit of a closer look at Miles' ratings here, and I was curious to see that his shooting stats went up, which is good to see. We definitely want him to improve as a shooter, but his athleticism ratings actually are going to end up going down. You can see his standing dunk goes down, his dunking as well, and you're going to see here later on, I believe like his speed and his vertical and his acceleration all went down, which I was a little bit surprised by. His defense did go up, which was nice. I did like to see that, but anyway, you're going to see. I'm not sure if this is just a product of getting older, but that was kind of weird to me. So anyway, we end up sending Chris Miles to the offensive fundamentals camp. I'm hoping that's going to improve his layup ability. That's something he really struggled with as a rookie. And then we sent Tony Sheldon to untapped potential. We get that potential rating up to a B. So I like that. I think, we get it up to a B. He can really now look to be a solid starter for the future on our team. So anyway, then let's get ranked 4th in the preseason power rankings. That was pretty good. I was pretty pleased with that. And there you go. So that is going to do it. I hope you guys did enjoy the off-season episode. It would be 48. Is going to be coming up soon to kick off season number 4, or season number 5, I should say. I'm not going to be playing too many regular season episodes in season number 5, probably only 3. I'm going to do 2 before the trade deadline and 1 after. So look forward to that. Hopefully we will be getting back to the finals and hopefully have a slightly better result this time around. That's going to do it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.